Good morning, folks. How are we all today? Hope we're all well. Liebchen, that was an interesting question. At the Two Davies, is that you, Mr. Milligan? Well, the answer is that depends on who's typing. Yous get to guess. But I'll give you the wee heads up. I would never come onto a page and say, "Hi, guys." Alright, so if you see "Hi, guys," it's the other one that's typing. It's no me. But because it's a jointly owned channel, it's a jointly owned persona as well when you're answering comments. So there you go. So a wee bit of fun and games for you. You get to guess which one of the two is typing a reply. Okay, but if it's in the comments after a broadcast, then I generally comment with my own YouTube channel persona, which is my own name. But David's persona on YouTube is the Two Davies, which is shared with me. Okay. Right, Sunday Talk Davey out the truck now at home in his office, as he always is, on the 24th of the 7th, 2025. And mixed bag of papers a day, folks. It really is. But first up, because I do things differently, we've got the weather. Right now here it is 17 degrees, mostly sunny. No rain in the forecast. Highs predicted to be 21 today. Okay, pollen counts high, main hours in, same as yesterday, grass. Alright, so that's how the weather is here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you wish to know what the weather's like where you are, look at your own bloody window. And Leipzig says it's cold in the Ayrshire today. 17's no bad. 16's tarp mind. There you go. Right, first up this morning, folks, we have the Scotsman. Let's go find it. Where are we? Rang Ender Park, usual. Okay, the Scotsman, here we go. And the Scotsman has teachers face soaring abuse and sexism. Demand for action as complex societal factors blamed for rise. Complex societal factors. Well, I haven't got a list of them, to be fair. Complex societal factors. The fact that most parents are working these days and don't have time to spend with their little darlings and teach them right from wrong. And when they take it home, they're that knackered, they just sit their children in front of screens while they prepare food, stress out how they're going to buy the next meal, pay the next bill, get dressed, get under it, get showered, get changed, get their little darlings to bed. Hope they don't stay in the fucking internet all night. Well, you drop off exhausted. I'd say that's complex societal failures. The failure is we don't pay parents enough to be able to spend time with their children, teach them right for wrong, because they're all working all day. That's being left to the school teachers. Okay, let's move on. The next one, folks, is interesting to me. Really interesting to me, and because it's interesting to me, you imagine I went and had a look. So next up, folks, is the Herald. And this one really fascinated me. Scotland's record in skin cancer treatment slammed. Shameful delays in diagnosis. So we're talking about diagnosis here, no treatment. But if you look at the headline there, it said treatment. And it goes on to tell us in the article that only 2/3 of Scots skin cancer patients are seen on time, within the 62-day limit. And I thought, that doesn't sound bloody right. So, folks, when I want to find the information, I'm going to give you a wee heads up here. There's something out there that you can put in your search bar, right? And it's called Scotland's Data on a Map. And all this stuff is laid out in graphs that are easy to understand. And Scotland's Data on a Map works in coalition with Scotland's different departments to publish this data. Alright, so we'll take this nonsense down and I'll put up the cancer waiting times. Okay, for the 62-day period and the 31-day period in the year 2024. The data was published in April, I believe. Anyway, I'm going to take this down. I'm going to stick the data up. I'll be keeping it on the smaller screen. I'll be staying on the smaller screen here. So we'll get rid of that. And we'll bring up that. Scotland's data on a map. Cancer waiting times in Scotland. NHS cancer waiting times. Right. Cancer waiting times, 31-day standard, 62-day standard. And some of the graphs are lovely, and they even explain how the graphs work. Here are the 6 health boards which are failing in some of the areas, and the reason why they're failing in some of the areas. NHS Ayrshire and Arran, issues with the CT and MRI scanners. And of course, the one that's the same story right across the board, staff shortages in pathology. NHS Dumfries and Galloway, reliance on single CT scanner, and a sustained increase in cancer referrals impacting its prostate and colorectal cancer pathways. NHS 5, it's got a breakdown of its PET scanner impacting the lung pathway and robotic theatre capacity issues. NHS Forth Valley, technical faults with bone scanner, workforce challenges across all specialities, bed capacity was described as very challenging. And NHS Greater Glasgow and Clyde, it's a colorectal, oncology and urology are particularly affected by workforce challenges. And we'll get a wee bit more of that as we quick what you're doing this sheet. And in NHS Shetland, prostate cancer patients who require MRI scans at Grampian Health Board were facing significant delays. And NHS Tayside said numbers of urgent suspicions of cancer USC referrals to its clinics is increasing. It would appear the GPs in Dundee are getting more aware of the situation. Right, let's have a look at the 31-day data, shall we? Folks, you'll like this one. Right, performance data for quarter 4 2024. Okay, that's the particular page I've got up, by the way. Quarter 4, the last quarter of 2024. Right, so what we go in this one, we'll get cancer waiting times, we'll get the type of cancer, the amount of referrals, the treatments, and percentages. So making the 32-day standard, as I say, apart from the 5 above, 6 above, are these ones. All right. So we've got referrals at a 6,798, treated 6,441, and the percentage comes out at 94. If you look, that's on the 90s, except for one speciality, and that's urology, and that seems to be a problem all the way down. But as you can see in the 31-day referral time, the treatment time is pretty rapid, folks. So up there in the 90% odds. But we're being told it's shite. And then, of course, we've got the cancer to the waiting for the 62 days. Hold on, 31 days. 62 days standard. Here we go. All cancers. These are 4,309. Treated 3,166. Percentage 73%. That's no brilliant. But as we go down, you see, at no point, except for when we get urology, does it get under. Oh, sorry, is it less than 2/3 of the population? And when you take the mean average, it's going to be about 70%, it's seen. Right across the health boards, on time and treated on time. But it goes down a wee bit further and it breaks it down into each cancer. And you've got referrals and treated. If you notice, the maps sort of follow each other. The graph lines follow each other. The gap in between is the waiting time between being referred and being treated. And it's generally always within the specified 62 days. Breast cancer, very fast. But we go cervical cancer, really fast as well. wee bit longer for colorectal cancer. Head and neck cancers, rapido. Lung cancer, pretty close match on that graph as well. The one that we were talking about, skin cancer, lymphoma. Look how close the graph is. The gap between the graphs are there. You could say that almost everybody's getting seen within referral time and treated with it. Seems they're being referred within 62 days and they're being treated pretty rapid after that. Melanoma, another one. Sorry, melanoma is the skin cancer one. Fucking hell. It's almost immediate. Where's the gap between them? There's none. And we've been told it's shite. And see, they're all reasonable all the way down until you get urology. Because we have a real shortage of specialists in that field. Look at the gap there, folks. But that's staffing issues. So not just as the headline in the Herald a bloody lie, the data doesn't bear that out either. Now, folks, see when you get reports like this, now the thing about Scotland's data on the roadmap is, you'll get all the different categories in that are mapped, and Jesus, there's lots of them. But the data you're looking for will be on one of these maps, if you know how to navigate their site. But if you don't know how to navigate the site, I'll put it back up a minute. Now I'll go back up the top, because you start to see stuff up here at that side of the page. And these are recent data releases and all the different subjects of data releases on. Mine data comes out at different times through the years for different things. It's a really useful resource, folks. A really useful resource. So if you're looking for information and you're looking for it quick, then Scotland's data on a map is what to look for in your search engine. Okay, so the story in the Herald's a lot of tosh. A lot of tosh. It even has it rang in its headline where it refers to treatment, and then when it gets to the sub-headline, it's talking about diagnosis. Two different issues altogether, folks. Two different issues altogether. With diagnosis, A, you need the person to present, and B, you need the GP to send them for correct tests. Okay. But that's how easy it is to try and pull the wool over people's eyes, and that's what's called propaganda. Negative propaganda against the Scottish Government and the Scottish NHS. And it demoralises the staff. But the data is there if you're willing to go and find it. And a shortcut, Scotland's data on a roadmap. Helps me. Right, next up we've got the Rancid. Went on too long with that one. Next up we've got the Rancid. And it is a health-related story stroke warning. Alright. Exclusive genital Botox warning. It's not just a little prick. Right. Okay. I'm not going to get into it. Right. But apparently we've got shady pop-up clinics beefing up the size of men's tackle with Botox. Alright. But that sparked an increase in NHS interventions because of things that have went wrong. Side effects for one guy was that bad, docs had to chop off his wanger. He had to be amputated. And medics warn that Botox can be deadly. And it can. But kids, here's a tip. Just be happy with the tackle you've been given. I'm sure whatever partner you settle with will be happy with whatever tackle you've got. We're all built differently. But I'm sure, although that will be one of the attractions, it's not the primary attraction between people. We've evolved a wee bit beyond that, where human beings are hunting down the best genetic partner. Only the fucking aristocrats do that, where they treat their bloodlines like thoroughbred horses. Just be happy with what you've got. Right, next up's the Scum. And the Scum's got a crime story, or a crime-related story. Monster extradition from Dubai. Iceman's sidekick to get his just desserts. Nick Hood faces justice after 5 years on the run. Don't know who Iceman is, don't live in their world. Don't fucking care. Right, let's move on to see what mere nonsense we can dig up in the rags today. Next up, we'll get the Telegraph. If we can find it. Police not ready for summer of unrest. Folks, this one interests me. It does. Statement for the Prime Minister about unrest. I don't know about any plans for unrest at the moment. I can see civil discontent with the Westminster government. But what I do see is the right wing making a fucking lot of noise, and Nigel Farage saying it's no the right wing, it's just concerned citizens. It's fucking not. It is the right wing. And I'll tell you, that gets more interesting because there's a headline in the Times today that I never thought I'd fucking see. And I'm glad my grandfather's no here to see it. I'm glad my dad's no here to see it. Morning, Sir Larry. Honestly, folks, absolute nuts this headline that's coming up shortly. Right up is the Telegraph. Next up, we'll get the Field. Where are you, Field? Number one of the days. Right, the Scottish Daily Mail has asylum seekers gamble away taxpayers' cash. In the past year, over 6,000 migrants used government-issued cards loaded with £50 a week at betting shops and casinos. No, they fucking didn't. Because betting shops and casinos can't accept these cards. Well, at least that's the way it works here in Scotland. The betting shops and casinos can't accept these cards. In fact, even the outlets that they can be used at are pretty specific. You can use them at the post office to draw cash, or you can use them at Lidl's, or you can use them at Aldi's, and a few chemists and things like that. But very little. The outlets that they can use are fucking limited. So that's nonsense. Unless, of course, they've got a different scheme in England. But as the Home Office is running these schemes, I would imagine they'd be the same right across. So mere crap and propaganda and hatred being stoked in the rags. These are the people who are stirring the unrest, folks. It's a con. Yous are being conned into civil unrest so that they can take away your civil liberties. And yous can't even see it. We are sitting up here in Scotland with fascinated horror on our faces as we watch this circus. It is so comical, it's no true. You are being incited to riot so they can strip you of your civil liberties. And you are buying it. Jesus Christ. But I have to say, folks, it is entertaining to watch for up here. It only stops being entertaining to watch up here when it starts to infect society up here. And they're doing their very fucking best to make it infect our society. So they are. Right, we're going further in, do we? Okay. Next up, we've got the Metro. The Metro's got row on eve of President's arrival. Court dispute Swinney's Trump claim. Now, with this Swinney claim, he says that Scottish police can handle it. And apparently, top officers in Scotland say resources will be stretched. Of course, they'll be fucking stretched. Doesn't mean you can't handle it. every bloody household's resources are stretched right now. We're all having to fucking handle it. Well, some of us are a wee bit more fortunate than others. But what a load of nonsense. Yep, they'll be stretched, but they'll manage. Always do. Honestly. I think next up we'll get a loan of Raggy Express, but I think today the Express is actually probably the most sensible of headlines. Even though it is entertainment story related, so let's put it up. "40 years on, Sir Bob Geldof's new plea to the world: feed the children of Gaza and their tormented, terrified, broken and panicked mothers." You can tell Sir Bob hasn't got a seat in the Lords. Because if Sir Bob had a seat in the Lords, he'd have got the fucking memo. The one that tells us via that Parliament down the road that they're going to allow the Israelis to kill every fucking one of them. Them all. America and the UK have decided they want access to the fuel off the Gazan coast. And Israel wants the real estate. So these people have to be annihilated, exterminated. And if any of them do survive, they have to be moved, displaced permanently. They'll probably move them to the West Bank, where they will then force them out and into Syria. So it would appear Sir Bob didn't get the fucking memo. So although I agree with his sentiments, he obviously didn't get the memo. Oh, here comes Charlie Cat. Okay, come on. I hope he's not going to stick his arse up in your face, folks, but you never know with cats. You cuddling Daddy's iPad, are you? Are you cuddling my iPad, wee cat? Are you? Are you cuddling my wee iPad? Right, that was him. That was the Express. I'll get to your super chat in a minute, class action. Oh, I've got it up. Sorry, I'll put it back up. You can't fix stupid. They'll riot because they're told to. Absolutely, class action. I know you're watching this with the same fascinated wonder as I am. You know, I know you're watching it with the same fascinated wonder as I am. Horrified, fascinated, wonder. Unbelievable. But as I say, if it wasn't going to be so destructive, it would be hilarious. Charlie, you've got a fan in Sir Larry. Huh? Sir Larry's a fan. He is so Charlie Cat. Now look at him, wee poser. Yeah, Charlie Cat. Sir Larry a fan. Right, that was Express. Next up we've got a Guardian. Better get this thing moving. The Guardian has, we have faced hunger before, but never like this. And this is the story of the starving people of Gaza. And I don't want to dwell on it, folks. I get angry. You know, I get angry. Right, let's move on. Next one's the national. What's the national vote for as a date? Yusuf and El Nakla say relatives in Palestine are being deliberately starved. They are. They are being deliberately starved. And the rest of the world looks on. Humza. I'm sorry. But I have to say, I'm very proud of you for keeping your head above the parapet. Some of the racist shit that you've had to put up with, Humza. For that, you have my apology and my community's apology. Here on YouTube, anyway. Right, Scotland's owned Scottish community-owned Scottish Island to boycott Israel, and that as the residents of Egg voted to support the Palestine-led boycott, divestment and sanction movement. Islanders pledged to stand in solidarity with the people of Palestine and to raise awareness of the complicity of these companies in the genocide. Good on you, Peter of Egg. Well done. And apparently Scotland's elderly now at risk from Starmer's immigration obsession. So I guess if they're going to the re-holiday homes in Spain, it's getting harder to get back. Or maybe even harder to get out. The way this fascist git Starmer is stamping down on freedoms. That wouldn't surprise me either way. Right. Well, that was a national. Next up's the Times. This is the one where the headline that horrified me. I never thought I'd see it, folks, but I'll put it up. Neo-Nazis push for anti-migrant protest at hotels across UK. Neo-Nazis. For fuck's sake. And our mainstream media are giving them the platform. The main headline here is about a sickener. Rayner and team rack up huge rise in air miles. I'll get yours in a wee minute, John. I'm saying to myself, she's in her fucking charge of the housing department. What do you mean, fucking air miles? Why would the housing minister have to go anywhere? Anyway, apparently, her department's business travels up by 34%. And in February this year, she was in Ethiopia and Ghana. And while in Ghana, she asked her civil servants if it was alright for her to fuck off on safari for a couple of days. So you and I fight to get her there to look at mud huts, which we don't build here. And while she's there, she goes in a wee jolly. You ever get the idea you're being fucking scammed, folks? Why would the housing minister and her department, why would the international travel increase by 34% a year? The mind boggles. Are they using public money to get somewhere in false pretenses and having a holiday? The mind actually boggles. Oh, I want to see that committee. Well, they drag her in front of the committee and ask her what she's increased spending and travels for. Right, John. Let's get yours up, mate. John, the truck driving legend, still a driving god. You're getting there, sir. Hi guys, some funds for the baby and food fund. Sorry not been on recently. The picture makes me cry in the Guardian. And what makes me sad? And it makes you sad. Makes us all sad, man. I'm not a religious man, but I'll read it out for you, mate. God bless the people of Palestine. Well done, Egg. Thank you, John. That's well appreciated. Right, next up, we have the eye. What's the eye go for as a day? Cancer patients face crushing treatment delays due to doctors' strike tomorrow. This is an England only story, folks. What they are now calling resident doctors, what used to be called junior doctors, are going on strike because they're at war with the government. What's the war about? They want not a pay rise, they want wage restoration. Keep that term in mind when you hear the shit in the news about them demanding a 25% pay rise. No, that 25% is how far back their wages have went and where they should be. They just want pay restoration to where it should be. That's all. Unfortunately, when you piss the doctors off and they withdraw the labour, then of course people suffer. Of course they do. That's unavoidable. That's why up here we go to right to make sure they don't strike. So, been an interesting fair bit of range in the papers today. To the nonsense in the Herald, to the last headline. neo-Nazi groups. That one just done me. I never thought I would see the day where the term neo-Nazi groups would have ever encouraged anything on these islands. Wow. Nuts. So it has been a really interesting one. Now, to add in, as we just hit the 11 o'clock mark, we'll stick a star up. Let's go. Let's get a football story. It's coming home. Yeah, what changed PM? I have no idea. The minute I seen the sports story, I thought, England's through to another final. Will they win it? I don't know. Or have they won it? I don't know. I think they're playing Italy. But I don't know when the game is. I don't know if it's being played. Too many important things going on in the fucking world right now to be paying attention to football, whether it be international or whether it be domestic, because the early rounds of the Scottish Cup or League Cup are being played at the moment here in Scotland. But I don't have time for it. I'm too busy watching the civil liberties of the people of England being stripped away. I'm too busy watching that at this point in time. And I'm actually watching them bringing about the circumstances where it will happen and it will be justified by them to themselves because of what's about to happen. And they can't see the pot's being fucking stirred. And guess what? The poll tax was an experiment, social experiment in Scotland. What we're seeing down that road is a social experiment being carried out by incompetent governments, which is going to lead to fucking disaster. News isn't getting any better this week, is it? Not in quality. Definitely not in quantity. Yeah. That is fascinating, to say the least. I don't know anybody in Huddersfield. Right. As I say, we live in interesting times. As Milligan says, it's definitely time for independence. Me, I'm concentrating on 2026 Scottish general election. That's the prize. Get your eyes firm fixedly on it, folks. If we don't win that, the party's over until we get control of that parliament again. See you all tomorrow. I see you all this afternoon, 4 p.m, when David and I are going to talk about some of the issues that have been going on here in Scotland, in the UK, and the wider world. Okay, see you then. Bye for now.